Good morning everyone, Janie here and welcome back to my garden. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today. It is the brightest day out. I even have my umbrella up and I'm still squinting. So I'm holding myself back from going to get sunglasses because it's a gorgeous day. Tomorrow's gonna be really, really hot, but today it's really beautiful. So I'm gonna spend as much time outside as I can. So Jason and I just finished the oak tree garden bed. We got mulch delivered and we mulched the whole thing and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to show you all. I'm going to show you all in my June garden tour that I'm going to release a little bit later this week. So stay tuned for that. Today I'm itching to get back here, back by my greenhouse where I have my new stock tank planters that I've prepped. They have soil in them, they have drainage holes, they have irrigation all set up. They're ready to go. All I have to do is plant the plants. So it's the fun part. So what I decided to do with these stock tank planters is I decided to make them pollinator gardens. You know, I could put veggies in, I could put more cut flowers in. There's a lot of things that I could do, but I really wanted a dedicated space for a pollinator garden and a space where there would be no risk of any chemical crossover. So what I do when I have my super petunias or my calibrachoas, my super bells, I do spray BT once a week to every other week to keep the budworms off of them. Otherwise, they will eat them alive and I will have no super petunias and no super bells. So I use BT and I'm confident with it. You can watch my video on BT where I talk about you know, my research and everything I did on BT, and I feel good about it. However, I do know that I don't want to put it on any of my pollinator specific plants, specifically my milkweed. So I am doing a challenge this year, I guess you would say. I'm doing it with Rich from the Old Swedes farm, and we're doing hashtag milkweed for monarchs 2022. And the goal is just to bring awareness of the monarchs' need to have native to your area milkweed for them, for, you know, as their way stations, and so that they can lay their eggs on the milkweed and the larvae can have something to eat. And it's specifically milkweed that they need. So I've already planted some in a native garden in the town I live in. It actually, I went on vacation and it died. So I was so frustrated about that, but that's okay. I have two more plants that I've grew from seed. I have to tell you guys, I am having the hardest time with this milkweed. It is so incredibly finicky. I don't know what I'm doing to it, but I'm just having a hard time keeping it alive. So I have two more plants that they're in Proven Winners cans right here and here. But they're just milkweed. They're showy milkweed. I think I labeled them properly. And I'm planning to plant those up in this spot. And this spot, I am not going to spray with BT. I'm going to take really good care of it. You know, and I'm going to make it as good a place for the monarch butterflies and the bees and the hummingbirds to come and enjoy themselves. So I have a lot of different plants that I'm planning to put in there, including some Proven Winners 2023 perennials that I'm very excited about. They offered to let me try them out in my Zone 9B area, and I'm super, super excited to see how they do. So that will be in an upcoming video as well. But today I just wanted to plant in some plants that I've kind of been saving, you know, not in my greenhouse because my greenhouse is too hot right now, but I've been saving just kind of, you know, on the side of my yard, and I've been thinking about putting them in a pollinator garden. And when I got these stock tanks, I thought, okay, this is perfect. So I will show you the plants that I'm putting. I'm just going to plant up this one stock tank right here because I'm going to save these for the new Proven Winners varieties that I have to try out this year. One very special thing that I'm going to plant in this stock tank right here is, have you guys seen these sunflower Steve? So Nicole from Flower Hill Farm, I watch her on YouTube. She's wonderful. She's so good at cut flowers and I've learned a ton of stuff from her, but she has made a friendship with Sunflower Steve, who breeds really interesting sunflowers. And so I started following him on Instagram, and then it turned out that he has these sunflowers that are not available yet. They're not available to the public yet. And he had a small batch of them that he was selling for a charity, for his, you know, a camp in his area or something like that. So I splurged and I bought these sunflowers, and I'm super excited to plant them up in here. So let's see, I think I only have 50 of them in here, maybe less than that. But there's, you know, there's no instructions, there's no nothing. It's just in a little bag. It's really cute, and I'm excited to see how they do. Jolly Gardens 420, I think what it is, 720. Jolly Gardens on Instagram got some of these as well, and theirs are already blooming. So I'm jealous, and I want to get on it, and I got to get these planted. So I'm going to plant these up as well, and we'll see how they do. The soil that I put in these stock tanks was a soil that I wasn't really familiar with. It was just from Home Depot, and it was just raised bed mix. And it's very, very dry. There's a lot of wood chips in it, and I'm finding myself having to come out here and, you know, water it in. So I think this is something I'm gonna be coming out. I'm gonna direct sow them into the stock tank, but I think I'm gonna be coming out 2, maybe 3 times a day to water them. But that's okay, because I'm gonna take really good care of these seeds. So let me show you what other plants I've decided for this back stock tank right here. Okay, here is stock tank number 1, and here's stock tank number 2 that I'm going to plant up today. I do have my umbrella, my trusty umbrella overhead, and you can see there's my greenhouse right there. So let me go over all the plants that I have planned for this stock tank. First of all, I'm going to put the Sunflower Steve seeds, the Van Gogh Fantasy Mix. Aren't those beautiful? I'm going to put those all right here. I don't know how close I'm going to do, but I'm probably going to do them pretty close and then thin them out just to make sure that they germinate well. I don't have great luck at germinating sunflowers out, you know, just direct seeding them, and I think it's because the birds go for them. That's my inkling, but I'm not totally sure, so I'm going to be watching these very, very closely. Then you can see right here this beautiful pink one. This is Truffula Pink Gomphrena from Proven Winners. This I actually saved from last year. It is actually hardy in my zone. It's hardy 9A to 11. So not all of them lasted. Some of them were really brittle and they didn't look good, but this one was beautiful. And last year when I had it over in my, now it's my veggie garden bed, or my kitchen garden, the bees were all over it. So I thought it would be a perfect plant for my pollinator garden. Then my absolute hands down favorite plant in my garden, this Mystic Spires salvia, Mystic Spires blue salvia. And I have these in my front yard en masse, and they always have bees and butterflies and hummingbirds on it. And so I thought, okay, perfect. I actually took a cutting of this one. This one's a cutting. I had 3 cuttings in here and 2 of them died. So only 1 survived. I didn't take very good care of this, so it's my fault. But I have nice, one big, good plant that was for free that I took as a cutting, so that's great. And then down here, I have my milkweed, and I'm pretty sure this is showy milkweed. I did have labels, and I don't know what happened to them. You know, things get lost. So I'm almost positive this one's showy milkweed because it looks like showy milkweed. This one might be narrow leaf. You know, like I said, I'm just having trouble with milkweed and keeping milkweed alive. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. You know, I'll just have to figure it out. But I do have more seeds in my freezer that I'm stratifying, and I'm going to do like a mass planting of milkweed because I really want a lot of them and I really want them to thrive here. This dead looking plant you can see back here. This is my fault. So I found a supplier for milkweed. It's called Midwest Perennials, and they're from Etsy. And the shipping was fantastic. The customer service was fantastic. When the plants were shipped to me, they were beautiful. They were fantastic. What I didn't think about is I didn't think about hardening them off in our hot weather versus Midwest weather. So we had that 4 days of a heat wave, and it got up to 106, and I, you know, was saying my plants are just gonna have to deal, you know, they're just gonna have to survive. Well, I wasn't even thinking about these poor babies, and they died. Well, I thought they died. So earlier this morning when I was getting this all set up, I yanked this out to kind of toss it, but it had these beautiful roots on it. They looked like they were thriving. The roots looked absolutely gorgeous, and it looked like there was new growth coming from them. So I quickly put it back under the soil, and I'm just gonna leave it. And I'm just gonna see what happens, and I'm gonna plant it next to the other milkweed. This is a showy milkweed as well. So I'm just gonna leave it and see what happens, and you know, you never know. But the whole plant was definitely not dead. So I know I'm pushing it with that. I just really want the milkweed to thrive because I really want monarchs on here next year. And really these whole stock tanks I'm planting for the monarchs, honestly, because I really, really want the milkweed. I want to see them in the larva stage, and I want to see the whole thing. So that's my goal, is to try and get a monarch butterfly to lay its eggs in my garden. That's really, really what I want, and that's what this whole pollinator garden is for. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to plant up the milkweed, the salvia, the gomphrena, and the sunflower seeds. Water them in. You can see I already put the emitter tubing. This is every 6 inches. I already put it in, and before I started filming, I really soaked this soil. I made sure that I saw it draining out the bottom, just so I knew it was soaked all the way through and it wouldn't dry everything out, kind of like I did to that one. Look at my friend. They're all over my garden this year. I'm really excited. Hello. Ah! All right, everyone, so that is it for today. I've got stock tank number 2, whatever the numbers are. I've got this one all planted up. I'm going to be watching those sunflower Steve seeds very, very closely because I would love for those sunflowers to bloom. I think that they're gorgeous. Check out Jolly Garden's Instagram and Sunflower Steve's Instagram so you can see what they're going to look like and how beautiful they are. And everybody cross your fingers for me for this milkweed. I really hope it survives because I feel like I've just gone through so many milkweed plants and totally killed them. So my plan is to go inside and to sow every single milkweed seed I have, just so I can have lots and lots of backup plants. And milkweed, it takes 365 days to mature. So everything I'm doing this year, I'm preparing for next year. It's kind of like a long-term plan. But really my goal is to at least see one monarch butterfly in my garden this year. I've been really into pollinators this year. I've really been enjoying it. And I think that my efforts are paying off because when I go in my front yard specifically, there are bees and butterflies everywhere, and I feel like Snow White or Sleeping Beauty of the pollinators, you know. Instead of cute little birds and chipmunks, I have bees and butterflies, which is perfectly fine. I'm happy with that. So I've been really into pollinators, and I think that that's why I was leaning towards making this a pollinator garden. Yes, it'd be wonderful as a veggie garden, and honestly, I probably will eventually make this a veggie garden. Maybe in the winter, put some lettuce or cool season crops in it or something like that. But for right now, I'm really enjoying helping out the pollinators. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Stay tuned for another video when I plant up stock tank number 1 with all the new releases from Proven Winners. Well, not all of them, but some Proven Winners releases that are very pollinator friendly, and I'm very excited about those plants. So I hope you all have a chance to get into your garden today.